Hello everyone and welcome back to my F1 2021 custom Formula 2 season. Round number 8 in Singapore today, a track that is not traditionally on the Formula 2 calendar, so it will be interesting to see how we go here. Heading into this one, we are 17 points adrift in the championship from Yuki Tsunoda, make that 21 points adrift as he collects pole position and the 4 points that go with it. So we're going to need to fight back in the race and hopefully close that margin even further. So let's just get into it.
The tension and excitement in the air can only mean one thing. It's race day here in Singapore at the Marina Bay Street Circuit as we get set for another engaging Formula 2 race. Located in the heart of Singapore's Marina Bay, this bumpy street circuit is seen as one of the most physically demanding in motorsport. It can be a particularly technical circuit to navigate, one that has proved popular with fans and drivers alike. As we await the start of another hugely anticipated Formula 2 race, I'm joined again by Davide Valsecchi. Davide, as a former GP2 champion, can we get some insight to what is running through these young drivers' heads as they sit out on the grid?
Ciao Alex, it's a pleasure to be here. There are nervy moments, there is no doubts about that. Mental strength is the key to remaining calm and focusing on the upcoming race. Formula 2 is so competitive and all of these drivers knows that they are going to be pushing each other all of the way. In this sport, you have to be able to control your nerves.
With that then, let's run through the grid order. A fantastic effort from Yuki Tsunoda yesterday puts him on pole position, with Sean Gelael alongside. Looking down the rest of the grid, we have Schumacher, Lundgaard, Daniel Ticktum and Schwartzman, Joe, Dragovic, Aitken, Artem Markelov, Daruvala, Sato, Nobuharu Matsushita and Piquet, Mazepin, Armstrong, Giotto and Louis Delatraz, Ilott, Alesi, Samaya and Roy Nissany completes the grid. Now it's almost time to lights out, so let's go down to the track.
Okay, here we go. I know what you can do. Don't let me down.
Alright, I will not let you down, Jeff, as we have a look at the strategy. No weather to interfere, but interestingly the strategy is flipped. Usually the better option is to start on the softer of the two compounds and finish on the harder, but that is not the case today in Singapore, and it's recommended we start on the softs, finish on the super softs. So that is what we will do as we now head to the 5 red lights. And it's lights out and away we go for the feature race here in Singapore. It's a great start and we're going to lead the way as we head down towards turn 1 for the first time. Miss the apex completely there as we run wide, and that's going to now allow Tsunoda back up the inside, and he retakes the lead as we try and switch back to the inside and take a late apex there, and we'll try to stay as close as we can to make sure we stay in contention. If we have any chance of making a move here at the bottom of this straight, that will be very, very helpful for us. So as we head in the slipstream here, we're going to have a look to the inside, and we are late on the brakes down the inside, and we make the move on Yuki Tsunoda. We leave him some space on the exit as we continue to fight into the next section of the track, as we still continue to go side by side through the right-hander, but we will eventually get that move done and take the lead of the feature race here. Tsunoda right behind us though, so we need to watch out for him, make sure we don't make any mistakes, but we have taken the lead for now, and we will try and hold that for as long as we can, hopefully to the end of the race. So we'll see how that goes as we finish off the middle sector here, and we're just trying our best to get away now, and we're not doing a very good job because Tsunoda is still right behind us, and it's going to take a while to build a margin if we can do that. But thankfully Singapore is quite a difficult track to overtake through the kind of middle and final sectors. It's really only the first sector where you have 1.5 opportunities to make an overtaking move, so it's helping us through that section when we were struggling a little bit, but now we're starting to build out a little bit of a margin. Only 6/10, 7/10, so it's going to take a little bit more than that to open up a margin and hopefully get out of DRS range by the end of lap 2. But we've completed the first lap and we haven't had any issues, so that is all good news for us. But as we continue on, I didn't show very well here, but Tsunoda actually made a pit stop. I think, I don't know how, but at some point he damaged his front wing, and that means he has to make an early stop and potentially has to make 2 pit stops in this race. So that's unfortunate for him. Mick Schumacher also retires, so if he had any championship aspirations left in this season, they will be going down the drain at this point. But other than that, there wasn't a lot of action in the first stint, so we head into the pit lane to put the super soft tyres on for the remainder of the race. What I didn't realise though at this point is that we actually had a slight amount of front wing damage, and that was why the rest of the field caught up. I don't know where it came from. He must have grazed a wall lightly at some point, and the team replaced that front wing. But yeah, it was costing us time, as you saw there. The rest of the field caught up to us, and we actually had quite a train lining up behind us. But yeah, I don't know where the damage come from, but that front wing change cost us a bunch of time, and now we're actually sitting in behind the Campos car of Guilherme Samaya, and we're down in 20th position. It won't be quite that bad once the other half of the field make their pit stops. You can see weaving there to try and generate a bit of tyre temperature, try and get a good run through the right-hander, and maybe we'll be able to make a move on Samaya if we're late on the brakes into the second sector here as we have a look to the inside. No, we're not going to bother with that, and we're going to sit behind Samaya for a bit longer. So as we continue on, and we will have a lunge down the inside very late there, and we'll find our way through, and that is more of an unlikely spot. There is a bit of a straight there, so it was quite a braking zone, but yeah, that was very bold at that move. But we continue to fight our way forwards now, make a much easier move on Ilot there, and now we look at the back of Rory Nassani, who has just come out of pit lane. We go up the inside of him as he's on cold tyres, and he still needs to get up to speed. And we continue to fight our way forwards. We get past Nikita Mazepin, but he gets a great amount of traction on the exit, and we're going to run side by side as we head towards the next right-hander. We're going to be in the outside line here, and we're going to have to leave him some space on the apex. We leave him a little bit, but we're able to drive all the way around the outside and take that position. And now we shift our attention to the next car ahead, Matsushita. It is at this point as we open the DRS and head along towards the second sector. Once again, this has been a happy hunting ground for us, this corner, as we head to the outside line. Matsushita trying to fight back, but we will get through on the outside and set a purple first sector as we do a little bit of understeer there through the right-hander, but we make things work for us and avoid the wall. Next up is the Charus car, the two Charus cars of PK and Delatraz. We got up the inside of PK there, and that was a cheeky late move on PK, but we made it work in a very unusual place there. And now the other Charus of Louis Delatraz, that we will probably overtake him in a more traditional way down the inside, and we get past Louis Delatraz, another purple first sector with the DRS there. So fastest lap is looking good for us with all the purple sectors we've been setting. Get another position there off of Marcus Armstrong. That elevates us up into 10th and back into the points. So we're really making a charge towards the end of this one. And now we are staring at the back of Jake Aitken, trying to get a nice run onto the straight. And we do that, and we get past in a straight line as we go wheel to wheel through the right-hander. And Jack Aitken not giving up quite yet, but I think around the outside we will have the advantage as we run a little bit wide and continue to fight. Bit of contact there actually as we gave him a bit of a squeeze towards the wall, so we're getting a bit aggressive there, but nonetheless we make the move on Jack Aitken and change and shift our attention to Marino Sato. We go up the inside of the Japanese driver, and we make that move stick through there.
Job, nice overtake.
So yeah, we've brought ourselves back into well, 8th position, which will give us reverse grid pole at this point, so that's great news for us. as we will continue to fight our way forwards and try and grab some more points. Guan Yu Zhou is the next car up ahead. We almost thought about going for a move around the outside, but I know there's a bit of wall there that sticks out very awkwardly, and with Guan Yu Zhou only just leaving enough room there for us to try that one, I didn't think it would be a very good idea just in case we hit that wall. We did eventually get up the inside into the tight left-hand there, and we were able to make that move stick, so we still got the position in the end. But yeah, it is now P7 for us. Next up is well, we actually don't have time to make any more overtakes. The race is ending early. This was Robert Schwartzman coming around the final corner on lap 30 of 34, but he is going to take the checkered flag here and win the feature race here in Singapore, and we will come around the final corner and cross the line in 7th position. But I don't know what happened to the last 4 laps.
That's the end of the race. We'll see you in Parc Fermé.
I believe the race may have just gone time certain. We run out of time to finish the race because the track is just maybe so long. I'm not sure what the deal there is.
Well, what a drive that was to take the win for Prema today. Davide, what do you think made the difference here?
I think they kept a cool hand. That's why they won today. Smooth, steady, everything bad that happened to them, they handled it calmly and professionally. That's what let them focus on getting the best out of everything else. The car, the strategy, they managed to keep out of trouble the whole way around.
As we look back on a thrilling race here today, we can now see the drivers take their places on the podium. It's a familiar sight by now, as it's another successful F2 win for Prema.
So Robert Schwartzman wins the feature race here in Singapore. Second place goes to Dan Ticktum with Artem Markelov in third.
Now then, Davide Valsecchi, who would you say was your driver of the day?
It's got to be Artem Markelov. He was fast, decisive, everything you want from a top-class driver.
After all this drama, you'd be mad not to join us for the next race. We hope to see you then. Take care.
Alright, there we have it. We close the gap in the championship to Yuki Tsunoda with that result. Tsunoda not scoring points in the end after damaging his front wing. Still not entirely sure where that happened, but yeah, unfortunate for the young Japanese driver. He does not score points in this race, and it will be very difficult for him to score points even in the next one. So yeah, it will be a challenge for him. But anyway, for us though, we had a fairly decent run, I suppose, considering the damage. We made as much of a comeback as we could, and we will start the reverse grid race from the front row in the same position we started this one, in second, with Guan Yu Zhou on reverse grid pole. So that's good for us, I suppose, to start up at the front and gives us a good chance of scoring big points in the next one. But anyway, as for well, that's for the rest of the field, as I sort of alluded. Oh, Tsunoda running into the back of us there on the replay. I only just noticed that. Maybe that's where he got that front wing damage from. That would make a lot of sense, as yeah, we started to lose pace at around this point, and you can see all the defensive work we had to do, but there wasn't really anything of particular note worth showing throughout this phase, which is why I just cut straight on. But yeah, that is just about going to cover the feature race. Not really a lot to talk about other than Tsunoda not scoring and the front wing change for us, and I still can't find even through this where we got front wing damage. But anyway, as I said, good comeback, and we were able to finish with a decent result. We closed the gap in the championship to Tsunoda to, I think, 13 points perhaps, let me think, we scored 6 points plus the fastest lap, which is the further 2. So we were 21, so yeah, that'll make it 13 points behind Tsunoda now, so that is great that we've been able to close that gap. That was actually a really nice tight move there on Guan Yu Zhou. Not a lot of space there, but we got through. Anyway, let's move on to the sprint race.
Welcome back for the final event of the weekend, the sprint race. Here, the top 8 from yesterday's feature race are reversed to make up the grid below us, and in just a few minutes, those drivers will be hurtling down into turn 1. Davide, is there anything we should be looking for in today's race? The teams are all very competitive at the moment, so are we about to witness a push from anyone in particular?
Hi Alex, the team will have been studying everyone else out there very carefully, so I think we are in for a very interesting event today. I can't wait to see how this race unfolds.
Okay, here we go. I know what you can do. Don't let me down.
I will not let you down, though I guess you could argue I did last time, but that's besides the point. There's going to be rain in this race around the half-hour mark, so that will make things very, very interesting if we need to switch to the wet compound tyres. As you can see, no pit stops required in this one, so that will be a choice we may have to make. But anyway, we now head to the 5 red lights, and it's lights out and away we go for the sprint race here in Singapore. It's a great start versus Guan Yu Zhou, and we're going to take the lead as we head down towards the first corner for the first time. And we take the lead as we have a bit of a moment there, and Zhou retakes the lead. We drop into 3rd behind Felipe Drugovich, and we're going to need to watch out for the cars behind us to get a bad exit out of the turn 3 as well, but thankfully we are able to defend from both Rubula and Lungard, who are now fighting behind us. Looks like the Rubula come out on top there ahead of the Dane, but we now shift our attention forwards once again to Felipe Drugovich. We're too far back and we can't make a move here into the 2nd sector, so we're going to have to try on a later lap. So here we go, looking to the inside, slotting in behind through the right hand, and now looking to the outside, and now outside again as we switch from left to right round the outside of Felipe Drugovich, and we will just about sneak through on the inside of the right hander, but Drugovich, good traction there, and he's going to have the inside line, and we're just going to give it away there and let Drugovich take the position back. But as we move on to a later lap, once again we will try the same move round the outside into the 2nd sector, and this time we carry much better momentum, a much smoother and more rounded line through the corner, and we make that move stick properly that time, and we were able to get through. Drugovich was very defensive there, even locked up, so he had to really slow up late in the corner there to actually make the turn without making contact with us, so that is the reason why he was so slow off the exits compared to my previous overtaking attempt. Matsushita retired from the race with a mechanical failure, and Christian Lungard suffers the same issues as he actually grazes the wall on the way into the runoff there, so little lapse of concentration there for Lungard as he will be very frustrated by that. We continue on, and after a very long time we catch up to Guan Yu Zhou. We've moved all the way on now to lap 14, and we have a second chance now to try and overtake Guan Yu Zhou, but as you can see, the rain is not too far away, in a few minutes time in fact, so we need to get past Guan Yu Zhou now, because I'm not confident in my wet weather pace in these Formula 2 cars. So as we continue on, we need to make a move right now. So you can see trying to take as wide a line as possible on the run into turn 3 and try and maximize that entry, but we're still not particularly close to Guan Yu Zhou. He's doing a very good job to maintain the gap. This could be one of our final chances to get past the Chinese driver, and right now we're not particularly close as we head into the braking zone, not close enough to go for an overtake, and Guan Yu Zhou holds on to the position. And as we continue on, as the track begins to get that surface layer of water on it that makes it so difficult to drive on, we just start losing time to Guan Yu Zhou, and we are very shortly going to be looking behind rather than in front, because we just don't have the pace of the Chinese driver anymore. And you can see Felipe Drugovich much bigger in the revision mirror than Guan Yu Zhou is in the forward-facing view as we continue to push forth in this race. We are going to need to be very defensive in the latter stages if we want to hold on to second position. Incidentally, P2 with well, we don't have the fastest lap, but it could net us some very important points, but we'll have to wait and see. We lose a spot to Felipe Drugovich anyway, though, as you can see, as we are well and truly out of control in these conditions. You can see how damp the track is, much longer, and it would have been worth a switch to wet tyres, but at this point, even if the wet tyres are faster, there's no point switching. As you can see, we're sliding so much, went very deep there, and thankfully we're able to still make the corner through that tight left-hander. But yeah, these conditions are certainly not ideal for the slick compound tyres, but anyway, that is what we have to deal with. But once again, the race gets cut short only by a lap this time, but it's going to be Guan Yu Zhou who takes the win here in Singapore for the sprint race, and we are only just going to hold on, but we will nonetheless as we head around the final corner to a podium, and we'll cross the line in third position.
Alright, race over. Take care of the car on the way in.
And that was a very, very tough race at the end there, but managed to hold on to third, and some very, very important points in this championship.
Brilliant stuff from Uni Virtuosi today. That's another historic win. So, Davide, how exactly did they set themselves apart from the pack today?
This race, this week, was about one thing and one thing only: consistency. Anyone can be quick for just one lap, but there's a difference between that and being quick every lap, over and over and over. If you can do that, if you can gain ground when your opponents make mistakes, but then not make mistakes on your own, you can just push and push.
This is it. This is where they all want to be. Here come the top three then, out onto the podium after a fascinating race.
So it is Guan Yu Zhou who takes the race win here. Felipe Drugovich finishes in second position, and we finish in third.
Now, Davide Valsecchi, let me ask you, who is your driver of the day?
Let's give it to Yuki Tsunoda. That was a quality drive from start to finish. He can be proud of that one.
After all this drama, you'd be mad not to join us for the next race. We hope to see you then. Take care.
So third position with the fastest lap. That will net us 14 points, and we close the gap significantly to Tsunoda. Just a single point between us now. That is exactly what we needed. 12 points rather. Sorry, we gained there. My mistake. I can't do maths. 10 points for third position in a sprint race here in Formula 2, plus the 2 for the fastest lap. Almost gave myself too many points in my head there, but nonetheless, we are well and truly now fully back in the fight with Yuki Tsunoda in this championship. Even before this round, 17 points behind. It was still a fairly decent margin, but now we can definitely take the fight to him in the next round, and yeah, try our best to make sure that we come out on top in this championship. Just 4 rounds to go, but as we've seen throughout the season so far, Tsunoda has not really let up all season until this round, where he damaged his front wing, and I mean, debatably that was our fault as well, seeing as though it was contact with us, but nonetheless, that is a discussion for never. But anyway, other than that then, there's not really a lot left to cover in this one. We actually had 2 relatively boring races, to be honest. yeah, we spent a lot of time in that race trying to catch up to Guan Yu Zhou. Had one real opportunity to get past, and yeah, we weren't able to do it. We weren't realistically close enough on that occasion, and then we started to drop back as soon as it started raining. So yeah, it was yeah, a relatively boring one, and yeah, those last few laps were just all about defense, and there wasn't really a lot to show from those. Nothing really happened, but nonetheless we come away with a decent haul of points from this round, so not a bad weekend by any stretch of the imagination, so at least we can take that positive. But other than that, then there's not a lot left to cover, so I will say thank you so much for watching all the way to the end. Feel free to give me some feedback, and I will see you next time when Formula 2 returns.